Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday night is Bavarian organ music night. No, it would appear to be at the beginning. Yes, welcome to Friday night. Now, we have a program of goodies tonight, but as always, we're going to be spontaneous. We love being spontaneous, so let's be spontaneous. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a very spontaneous request that came in at the very, very last minute, just before we started. And it's a request for our wonderful technical assistant, Ms. Ursa Meyer. And Ursa requested a wonderful piece of music from, I think, is it the Regensburg hymn book? All of these hymn books here. This is basically this book, but from number, what is it, number 700, I think, isn't it? Yeah, from number 700 on, number 800 on, isn't it? I can't remember. Number something or other. It's all about the regional stuff within the diocese, the German-speaking dioceses of the world. So, for example, there's even a version of this from Südtirol, Alto Adige, the north of Italy, where people still speak German. And there's a version of it there. So this is from the Regensburg version. This would have been number 842. Now, if I look up 842 in my version, I get this, which is actually rather nice as well. Let's be very spontaneous. Now, that request I just played there, that was Gott mit dir, du Land der Bayern, deutsche Erde, Vaterland, jawohl, über deinen weiten Gauen ruhe seine Segenshand. It's very sort of traditional Bavarian stuff. It's all about Bavarian kings, and Bavaria is better than everywhere else in the world. Which I think it is, actually. If you're from Bavaria, then obviously it's the best place in the world, but if you sort of look towards Bavaria, other parts of Germany look towards Bavaria and think, what a wonderful place. I wish we could be like that. And it's great. And of course, the national colours of Bavaria are blue and white. Blue and white. So there you are. Just like Scotland. So the Bavarians and the Scottish, they belong together. Now, what some of you might not know is that Ursa Meyer originally comes from Bavaria. She comes from right down in the southeast corner of Bavaria originally. Don't ask how we know that, but we do. We're insiders on such things. She doesn't live there anymore. She lives somewhere very different now. She doesn't actually live that far from here. She lives about an hour away from us here. Not very far at all. But she comes from down south. Now, I see we have other Bavarian people with us this evening. For example, Alexander Wunderlich lives in Bavaria. Rodi lives in Munich. Hello, Rodi. We haven't seen you for a long time. Nice to see you back, Rodi. Who else is from Bavaria? Let us know in the chit-chat if you are from Bavaria, and put in a Bavarian flag or something, or a blue and white flag. Scottish flag would do it as well. The Bavarians and the Scottish, they have a lot in common. Fatty food, lots of beer, dressing up in traditional clothes, happy, proud, and just wonderful. Yeah, there you are. So there you are. Absolutely fine. Now, 842 in my book, which is the Limburg version, is a wonderful thing called Liebe ist nicht nur ein Wort. Love is not just a word. Let's play that. Let's be spontaneous. 842. If anyone else is out there with a different diocese book, then send us the music from number 842, and we'll have an 842 night tonight. There you are. That's number 842 in my book. There you are. Right. So, lots of things are going on here. Not just Rudi. Yes, we know. Oh, there you are. So, who's that? Who's that? Wolfgang König. Yes, Wolfgang König comes from Munich as well. Hello, Wolfgang. Nice to see you there. Don't shout. Be nice. Who else comes from Bavaria then? Bavaria is more like the Florida of Germany. Huh? How on earth do you work that one? I think you need to explain that one, Mirabilos. I have no idea how you would explain. How would you explain that Bavaria is like the Florida of Germany? What do you mean, sort of very old people living in condos being eaten by alligators? Is that what you mean? I doubt it. I'm not terribly sure. Who else comes from Bavaria then? Let's have a little look. Oh, who else have we got? Bavaria, yes, there we are. Oh, right, headphones, yes, we'll come back to that. Someone was thinking politically. You were thinking Bavaria is like Florida politically. No, definitely not. Who else? Bodensee-Horn. Well, I don't quite agree with... Yes, Bodensee-Horn comes from the southwest of Germany, and obviously they think that that part is better than the southeast, which would be Bavaria. Let's not say Jez used to work for BMW, or guys with BMW. Yeah, that counts. Of course that counts. Did you ever visit Bavaria? Gregor Heindl is from Bavaria. There we go. That's good. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Who's this? Gleiswanderer. Namend aus dem von Bayern besetzten Franken. Ooh, now that's a dodgy subject. We're not going to get into that. Yes, Bavaria is a big German state, and it takes up other parts of Germany that didn't used to belong to Bavaria. So, anyway, let's not get political. We're not here to be political. You know we are politically incorrect here in the Gartshore gang, which is half the fun of what we get up to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Jeff spotted it. Well done, Jeff. We still have the knot in the... Actually, hold on. Let me go and show you. Oh, I'm getting old. Hold on, I'll be back in a second. I just need to wander over here to the other part of the room. And, oh, damn it. I just ran into this overhead camera stand, ruining the picture. Is that straight? It's as straight as it'll ever be. Right. Yes, look here. A replacement cable for my headphones has arrived. The new headphones that I ordered, they still aren't in stock, but they should be by next week. So I should hopefully have them by next week. However, let me get this wrapped around where it should be as well. This is the official biodynamic replacement cable, which needs to be... there you are. There's a plug on one end and three open wires on the other end, and that needs to be soldered into this. So I will repair, and there's 2 new clips as well to hold it all in. So when the new ones arrive, I'll take these ones apart and I'll solder in the new cable. So yes, that's going to be done. This is the official biodynamic cable. This is one of the advantages of buying biodynamic products. Why am I wearing my biodynamic products? Because they offer individual components. You can repair them. They're not just designed to be thrown in the bin once they've stopped working. You keep them, you repair them. So we're going to repair these. But once it's done, I'll do a video on that because that's always good fun doing that kind of thing. Right, there we are, a Bavarian hymn and the Limburg equivalent from the same number in the book. Now, here's a piece of music. Is this the one? Yes, it is. We've had some wonderful requests over the past little while. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be streamlining our request process for our live streams. Vanessa, as you know, is no longer up here with me. Vanessa is downstairs looking after a bundle of joy, looking after baby Gartshore. And tonight's a perfect night in question. Baby Gartshore was having a sort of a mini dragon session before we started this evening's concert. So Vanessa was 100% taken up with that. So what we're going to do, we're streamlining the request process. Spontaneous requests, we will still try to get some in if we can, if possible. If Vanessa manages to find things on the internet, she can wire them over to me on my new iPad and it works. However, she's not always 100% on the ball getting things ready, and can't necessarily do that. And obviously, while I'm in the middle of a concert, I can't be digging around in the internet looking for new music, so that's not going to work. So what we're going to do, we're going to introduce a form to be filled in, and we don't have it set up yet, but we'll do it very soon. And we're not collecting any personal data. We don't want email addresses or anything like that. It's purely for the purposes of requests for the concerts. So you fill out the form, tell us what piece of music you want, when you want it played. That's very important. Give us a little time in advance to find all these things. And then if it's a dedication for someone else or if it's for yourself and blah, blah, blah. And if possible, send a score to a certain email address kind of thing for us. So that's the plan. And all of the results from these forms will be put into an Excel spreadsheet, and we can work with that. And we can sort of look through the dates. We can sort it by date. When are the next requests coming, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So it's very clever, very streamlined, and it will help us, Vanessa and me, it will help us immensely work these things out. This is very bizarre. It keeps turning pages and I'm not even winking and blinking at it. So I don't know what this is all about. Go back. There we are. I have a feeling it's to do with the rake of my music disc. Anyway, we had a request recently from an anonymous person in California. Ooh la la. I want to be in California. Requesting a beautiful piece of music by Gabriel Fauré, and we love the music of Fauré, don't we? And this is one that I used to do in cathedrals. I've sung this in many cathedral choirs. I've played this on, see, did it again, I didn't even wink. I did it on theatre organs, on cathedral organs around the UK. And it's a rather beautiful piece of music, the Cantique de Jean Racine. Whoever the hell Jean Racine was, I don't know. But this is a cantique for him. And it's a rather beautiful piece of music, 4-part choir and a lovely organ or piano, actually originally for piano, originally a piano accompaniment. And it's just dawned on me that this is the choir score. It's not even an organ arrangement. Right, so let's hope I can remember how the choir sings and what it has to do, and let's sight read it. So here we are, Gabriel Fauré's Cantique de Jean Racine for California. And it's in my favorite key, it's in D flat major. This is Opus 11 by Gabriel Fauré, a very early work. Right, let's see if I can remember how it goes. Fauré's Cantique de Jean Racine. It's a beautiful piece of music. I was almost playing that from memory rather than from the music there. I buggered up one of the page turners. Let me see if I can get it again. I winked and blinked in the wrong direction and I forgot what came next. Let's see if I can work it out. Where was I? It's one of these beautiful parts. This is Fauré at his best, these beautiful harmonies. Fauré over the years modernized himself. Fauré was actually the catalyst who modernized French harmony. I think that's the best way of putting it. When he started studying, he was very traditional. So this is quite early and traditional. There are elements of his what's about to come in there, but harmonically speaking, it's still quite romantic. It hasn't quite become the sort of modern, exciting stuff yet. But there are elements of it in there. For example, let's try this bit again. I'm going to play this a bit towards the end again, just because I messed it up. That's better. That was just for me, just to remind myself how that part actually went. There's wonderful harmonies there. It's very clever how he does that. So we're in the key of D flat, which is beautiful. So we've landed in G flat, modulating kind of to E flat minor, and then via a beautifully, I would say, let's say diminished to keep it simple. He heads to here, and then by another one, ho 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 ho, but he doesn't stay there. And then here, and those are little hints of things to come. Rather than do this, why is it doing that again? Rather than do that, he does this, not this. Okay, he does this. Just one note of difference, but it gives it such a much nicer flavor. There we are. So thank you for that wonderful request. I still haven't worked out how to do that. We have more Fauré coming later, which was requested. But what we actually have, we have some very bizarre requests today. Somebody requested, and the answer is quite simply no. Somebody requested this, which I think is absolutely hilarious. This is not something that someone can sight read. This is something you have to practice for years, actually. Well, I wouldn't say years. I would say, let's say weeks. Let's be sensible. You have to practice this for weeks. This is by Louis Vierne, and it's his 6th Symphony, which the last movement starts like that and then does this. Where does it go from there? No, it doesn't do that. It does. Where the hell does it go? No, it doesn't. It goes here. That's the one. Yeah. Crazy. That's not something anybody can sight read. There's just tons of it. It's a wonderful piece of music, though. It's absolutely brilliant. The middle bit's quite easy. The middle bit can be sight read. Let's play the middle bit. Middle bit's actually very easy. Let's sight read the middle bit. I need to get rid of some of that. Middle bit's very simple. The hands just do this. And then the pedals. Pedals have the melody, which makes life slightly easier. That makes life quite easy, but then it gets just bizarre. It goes back to repeat what it did there at the beginning, and then towards the end, you have scales in the pedals. Oops. So that's a B major scale in the pedals, and then it doesn't do that. And then you think, oh, that's fine, but the speed is yada da 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 da. I can't even do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I need shoes. Yeah, and someone says, can you sight read that, please? So there you are. So the answer is no, I can't. Someone also suggested we sight read this, which I have here now in my magnificent new machine. Oh, go away. Ah, why is it not good? There, that's the one. And it's not sight readable, but it's almost there. It's wonderful. I'm practicing this for the future. It's wonderful. And so on and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, that's not really, that bit's almost sight readable. Then there's this bizarre bit. Which sounds to me, now if you're from the 70s, like I am, you might remember a piece of music called Rhubarb and Custard, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, which is this. It's just rhubarb and custard, isn't it? Anyway, so it does more of that, which is rather exciting. And then there's a crazy middle bit, which everyone really panics about, which is not actually as bad as you think, because the hands basically do the same thing. But you've got the melody here, in a most beautiful sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, legato. Sorry, where's it going? Okay, your hands are doing that very legato, but the pedals are going. You need shoes. Oh, for heaven's sake. What am I doing? Come on, Fraser. There we are. I used to be able to play this. Anyway, the pedals do a hell of a lot. It's very exciting. Again, not sight readable. It's something that has to be practiced for ages. God, when I was young, I practiced all these things. I've forgotten it. My technique is disappearing. Then all that comes back and goes for a crazy, crazy finish, which is great fun. So anyway, there you are. So that's something to work towards at some point. These are the things that some people request from time to time, which I think is hilariously funny, because these things really aren't playable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, something that is playable and something that I'm going to be working with you together on is a very famous piece of music, indeed, that will be coming to the channel hopefully sooner than later. It is, of course, the Toccata from Widor's Fifth Symphony, this one. And so on and so on and so on. That one. Very famous one indeed. Now, I'm not playing it until we get to 50,000 subscribers. So we are currently at, I don't have my thing here to tell me. We are currently at 49,530, 40-ish, something like that. So 460 odd to go. And then we play it. So Widor's Toccata. But what I'm going to do, if you are a Patreon or YouTube or Buy Me a Coffee member of the channel, I'm going to do a little bit of extra content coming up soon. And I'm going to be giving you some behind the scenes looks at how on earth, how do you learn a piece of music like this? Everybody thinks they know this piece of music, but how do you actually go about learning it? And that's what I'm going to do with you. So I'm going to do that. And then nearer the time, that video in a different form may well be presented to the general public. But it's going to be a little extra video for all the helpers and our supporters out there. Now, along with that, there's going to be some more exciting music coming at 50,000, so get ready for that. Now, oh no, hold on, wrong, sorry. Somebody requested this, another toccata. I've played this before, and I haven't played it since, I don't think, but I do have it registered. At least I think I do on this organ. one. Do I? No, I don't, but these registrations should actually work. That's too much. I could play it down here. There, that would work. Swap up there. Then we add, yeah, that looks all right. Then we add all of that. So that's the third part. Ooh, what's that? Ah, I know what that is. That's, oh, that would work quite well, actually. Hold on, yes. And then that'll come at the end. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, that'll work. Yeah. The French are very famous, French organists, French romantic organists are very famous for the toccatas, however you want to pluralize that. And one of the most famous one is the Gigoux toccata. This is often the very first one that people will learn because technically it's not all that difficult. There's about 5 bars that are very difficult. The rest of it just sort of repeats itself. It's a wonderful piece of music. I played this for the first time back in, get ready for this, 1991, at the tender age of 18, on the organ of Liverpool Anglican Cathedral after an evensong service. I was visiting Liverpool and I was visiting Ian Tracy, who was the organist then in those days. And at the end of the evensong, Ian Tracy just turned to me and said, right, play something. And I thought, oh God, all right. And he said, do you need music? I said, yeah, have you got music for Gigoux? And he said, yeah, all right then. So we played it. He did the registration, I played it. And it was rather nerve-wracking, but it kind of worked. I think that's the first time I ever played it in public. And then I promised one day I would sit down and learn it properly. Well, it's 30 odd years after that event, and I still haven't gotten around to learning it properly. But let's sight read it again. Now, this was a request not for California. This was a request for someone in, believe it or not, France. So let's play a French toccata for a French organ fan. Get ready for this. And hope the page turning works as well. Get feet in the right position. Is this going to work? Sounds quite loud, actually. Let's get rid of that for the first bit. Makes no difference. It's quite loud, actually. Ah, it'll do. All right. Right, hold on to your hats. This is going to be fast. B minor, ladies and gentlemen, B minor, not B major. My brain was in B major from this thing. From Vienna again. So anyway, let's get into B minor again. Come on, Fraser, concentrate. Okay, that was a bit too fast. But nonetheless, oh, that was basically from memory as well. I love that. My favorite bit is 4 notes on the pedal. Now, if you're a James Bond fan like I am, and you get the organ built up in a certain way, that's the pedal part from Thunderball, which I think is wonderful. And Gigoux was the first to do it. Where am I? Oh, sorry. And then the works. Cha-cha-cha. My chat seems to have gone crazy. How do I get my chat back? Click. I don't. Oh, it's not working for some bizarre reason. Yeah, I thought, hold on, let me reload this. Something's gone strangely wrong. Oh, damn it, I get adverts again. Ah, sod that. Why do I get adverts on my own channel? I don't understand that. There we go, that's better. Ha, much better. Right, there we are. That was a sort of variation on the Gigoux toccata. I do apologize. Someone requested this, which is something I've never actually played before. That's not true. I have played it before, but I can't remember it. It's the scherzo. Which is an absolutely fantastic piece of music. It really got to sort of romp along. It's a romp along. That sounds like a French word, doesn't it? It's a romp along in E major. It's in E major, which is hell, of course. But it's kind of Gigoux's version of. It's kind of Gigoux's version of that, which I love. And again, it's one of these things that I will sit down and practice one day when I have time. In other words, never. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's have some music by an Austrian composer. We haven't had, have we ever had anything by this guy on the channel before? He didn't live very long, this guy. His name was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And he was a very talented young chap. And he never got to be anything other than a young chap. He died very young. Nowadays, everyone sort of thinks, oh, all these famous pop musicians who die magically at the age of 27, or what's the other one, 27 or 32, or something like that. There's a magic age where they all die. And everyone thinks this is new. Well, it's not. Young composers. Let's think of Mozart. Let's think of Schubert. And there's a reason that they all died so young. It's basically a disease. I'm not going to tell you what disease it was or where it came from, but let's just say musicians have always been musicians. And from time to time they contracted diseases and some of them died as a result. Disgraceful, really. Nowadays all of these things are perfectly curable. However, back to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He was possibly one of the best composers ever, full stop. I don't think there's anything we could add to that to argue it. His output of work was phenomenal. And is there any rubbish by Mozart? I don't think so. I think pretty much everything he came across is absolutely wonderful, which is rather exciting. My chat is definitely doing something weird here. Every time someone adds something new, I get an extra message from someone else. Again, it keeps repeating itself all the time. Yeah, it keeps doing it. Why is it doing that? Right, well, let's press a button here. Oh, I see. Oh, right. I think the moderators are playing around with things. Why is it not doing that then? Okay, it's not doing it. Okay, something weird going on there with the chat. Moderators, if you go, yeah, here we are. Let's get rid of that for now. Moment. Okay. Yeah, and we have a bit of a problem this evening. Let me just tell you what's happening. I think this is causing the chat to go a little bit. Our friend Julian, and we love Julian. Julian is writing wonderful messages with lots of smileys and thumbs up and things like that. And YouTube is holding it back, and it's not letting us either show the message or hide the message. And Vanessa said she can't do anything about it as well. She's been in touch with Cam, trying to work it out. And then if I click the video away, I can't get the chat back. Something very strange is happening. So let's find out. Let's see if we can keep it there. Right. Yeah, and Vanessa can't even see Julian's messages now. So maybe somebody, by accident switched Julian off. We don't want that. Julian, we want your messages. Julian, write a nice normal message and let's see if it works. This is weird. All held for review. No, don't hold for review. No, Julian, we love Julian. Don't hold for review. Anyway, right. Don't worry, other way. Oh, there's a Julian message now. A number? Number 9? Didn't we do number 9 on Sunday? Oh, we didn't. No, you're right. Okay, let's do that one later. Okay, perfect. Anyway, back to Mozart. And a specific request from Mozart from our friend Jez M. And it was Jez's birthday yesterday. So first of all, we're going to sing happy birthday for Jez. I want you all to get your singing voices on, your singing hats, and we're going to sing happy birthday to Jez. I won't tell you how old Jez was yesterday. Let's just say he was kind of 17, if you know what I mean. He was kind of 17. And last year he was kind of 7, but never mind if you know what I mean. So he's 17 again, and there we are. The system is holding all messages for review. It shouldn't be doing that. Something weird is going on there. Okay, something very weird is happening. Something very bizarre is happening. Right, what's going on here? Maybe I can't see what's going on here properly. Chat filter. I don't want a filter. Right, there we are. Thank you very much. Get rid of that. Okay. Maybe it's me. Maybe my thing's just filtering them here. I am not a moderator on my own channel, you see. Only Vanessa is. For Jez, it was his birthday. First of all, we're going to sing happy birthday. That's loud, isn't it? This organ really is loud. It's Billerbeck, by the way. Now, Jez had a lovely request from the Zauberflöte, the magic flute. The magic flute, a wonderful piece of operatic genius, hiding many a Masonic secret. So get your old handshakes and get all the Masonic stuff going, folks. Years ago, it was all a big mystery and a big secret. But nowadays, just type into the internet Masonic secrets, and you've basically got the lot. So times they are a-changing. Anyway, the Zauberflöte, a wonderful piece of music indeed. And we have a request here from one of Tamino's. Tamino was the dude with the flute. One of the Tamino's arias. And it's this one. Dies Bildnis ist bezaubert schön. wie noch kein Auge je gesehen. And interestingly enough, Jez sent me a score for it, which thank you very much. It's all perfectly right. However, the words, I have no idea who added the words to it. The German is rather interesting, whoever added it. But never mind, the dots there. Now, one of the best versions of this piece of music you will ever find is by a guy called, a German tenor, called Fritz Wunderlich. And I've always wondered, is that a relation to either Klaus Wunderlich, the Hammond organ chain-smoking player, or our very own Alexander Wunderlich? How exciting would that be? Fritz Wunderlich. So anyway, this is, Dies Bildnis ist bezaubert schön from, I think, is it the fourth act? Is it the fourth act of the Zauberflöte? I think it is. A lovely aria, nice and slow, nice and gentle. And it sounds, hopefully, something like this. Right, sorry about that. I should have looked through the score in advance. There was a mistake in the music, a rather bizarre mistake in the music. Let me see if I can find it. The music, for some reason, transposed itself, which is wrong. It doesn't do that at all. It stays there. Let's go from the middle again. I do apologize, Jez. Let me play it from the middle again. Soll die Empfindung Liebe sein? Let's go from there. That's better. So what to do in times of despair like that, when you're reading a piece of music and you think, hold on a minute, that doesn't seem right. What you do is you take your brain back to the early 90s when you were at university and had to study all this stuff. And you sort of remember, hold on, it doesn't do that, it doesn't do that, it does this, and that makes more sense, and so on and so on. So you're reading the music there and correcting the music as you're going along. Isn't that weird? Anyway, there we have it. So there we are. That's Jez's birthday request. Thank you very much. A lovely request. I do like that indeed. Oh, what is this? Okay. Mrs. Gartshore. She's not listening. Vanessa? Für wen ist dieses Abendlied? Du hast mir was geschickt. Doch. Rheinberger. Als Chorsatz, ja.
Das ist für Mirabilos.
Von Mirabilos.
Aufgegangen, hey, ist auch gar nicht geklickt. Das ist aber weird.
Ja, klar.
Weil ich nicht wusste, auf welche Liste, deswegen habe ich das gar nicht geklickt.
I don't have a list, I just have a selection.
So, okay, ich dachte, okay, das ist für Mirabilos.
Das ist von Mirabilos, ja. Oh. Okay.
Das hast du für Gleismann auch schon gespielt?
Noch nicht, nein, nein. Das kommt noch.
Romantisch.
Romantisch, we can definitely do romantisch.
Ich habe es eben schon mal gesagt, aber das hast du nicht gehört.
Okay. Ah, we can definitely do romantisch.
Unter dem Lautsprecher schon wieder.
I beg your pardon?
Was ist das schon wieder unter dem Lautsprecher?
Das ist das andere Audio-Interface. Was nicht ging und jetzt doch geht.
Achso, okay.
Ja.
Ich war ewig nicht hier oben.
Vanessa hasn't been upstairs. Vanessa is hiding behind the camera, having a look around. She's probably looking and saying, I need to tidy up. But there's nothing to tidy up. It's all beautiful. Yes, well, of course. There's nowhere else to throw it. You're not here.
Ja, genau, da sind wir dann immer.
Vanessa, everybody. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you tonight? How's our little bundle of joy? She's asleep. She's asleep, for heaven's... Ah, wonderful. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, life is very bizarre at the moment. It's 11:10 on a Friday night. And the Gartshores were so busy with little bundle of joy all day today, we haven't even had time to eat. So even as we finish the concert tonight, Vanessa is going to finish the chat in the kitchen, is that right? Oh no, she's in the bedroom with Bundle of Joy. And as soon as this is finished, we're going to cook together. We're going to cook our evening meal at midnight. This is our life at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness me. Right. All right. We're in sight reading mode tonight, so let's do some sight reading. Okay. I need to get my brain around this one. I'm sure I know this piece of music. I should know it. Joseph Rheinberger, a very famous German romantic composer, lived between 1839 and 1901. Composed many, many beautiful pieces of organ music, but also composed a lot of beautiful choir music. And here we have one of his choir pieces, the Abendlied. And I think I should be able to sight read this. It's 4 pages of, how many parts have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 part choir score. So let's see if I can sight read it. Should be all right, he said. Let's play it gently though, because it's an Abendlied, which means even song, basically. Let's play it gently then. This was a request by Mirabelos, a spontaneous request. I just found it in my iPad here. Vanessa said she didn't want to send it, so we're going to do it anyway. Choral sight reading. Fun. Fun not. Definitely not. Right, let's have some more fun from the old-fashioned kind of fun. The Brown Book of Magnificence. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have been requested to play something in a romantic style. Number 9 from the Brown Book of Magnificence. Oh my goodness, it's in A major, so sod that. I'm going to transpose it into A flat major, which is much more romantic. I thought, let's have some really romantic registrations. Let's have these. Let's have our big stringy things here. Okay, and let's have a romantic looking, it looks like a romantic waltz, so let's do this. Here we go. This is for Gleiswanderer, and this is number 9 from the Brown Book of Magnificence. Ha! That's a beautiful little piece of music. I rather like that indeed. And I think playing it in that key helped it. The original key is A major, and I think it sounds too bright in A major. Yeah? That's only a semitone higher, but it sounds bright. It sounds too bright. I think A flat's better. Oh, isn't that better? Isn't that better? It's only a semitone. What a difference. Years ago, when I was at university, there was a crazy professor we had. His name was Peter Cook, and unfortunately it wasn't the famous Peter Cook, the comedian, but he was mad anyway, this guy, Peter Cook. But he was very, very good. Very, very good. And he did, one of the things he did was he did sort of ethnomusicology, and he was very out of his depth, I would think, in that kind of thing. But he also did some kind of aesthetics. One of the only things I remember from this guy, because he really was a bit weird. One of the things I remember was, you know, the different colours of the different keys, and it's true. It's true. If you have a piece of music, let's do the same thing in E major, for example. Doesn't sound right, does it? Doesn't sound right at all. Even in A major, the original key, it doesn't sound right. Having played it in A flat, which is just somehow just pretty good, isn't it? I suppose we could do it in D flat, which would be even better. But that's maybe too warm, if you know what I mean. Anyway, right, David, your request, yeah, it's nice to request things, but I did it earlier, I showed you earlier. It's one of the unplayable requests, yeah, those are things that need to be practiced for weeks and weeks and weeks. This was, David's request was, I played the beginning of it for you, it was, you know, that. Like I say, and this is something you can play parts of it. Play, you know, bits of it, but it needs to be practiced a lot. And one day I will practice it again. I played it when I was younger, but I can't do it now. I need to practice these things again. And I will get round to it, so don't worry about it. But it will come at some point. But yeah, things like that are very difficult to do from sight and get right. So, cheers. So David, it will come at some point. It will come at some point. Anyway, right. That was number 9 in the beautiful brown book of Magnificence, which I thought was rather beautiful. Indeed. Right, we're coming up to the final half hour of music. Now, behind my iPad, I have pieces of physical paper, printed out pieces of paper. And on here we have a variety of requests. Oh, hold on, what's that? Oh no, that's coming at the end. That's my request for you coming at the end. But yes, what we have here, we have some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful pieces of music, old pieces of music from the 1930s and 1940s. Now, someone else from the 1940s was a very important historical character called Hans Pauli. And Hans Pauli is in the chat, but obviously it's not the real Hans Pauli because he's actually dead. But Hans Pauli was a very important 1940s figure, historically speaking, for various reasons. But during the 1930s and 1940s, there were also some rather wonderful music out there. And a certain individual in the Gartshore gang got in touch with me and said, I think you should play some beautiful pieces of music for your darling wife, Vanessa. And I think that's a very nice idea. And he suggested a couple of them, and I'm going to play them just now. Indulge me, ladies and gentlemen, for the final half hour of this evening's concert. And I'm going to play some requests for my darling wife, Vanessa, and my darling daughter, Bundle of Joy. Not giving out real names. Children have no place on the internet. and we're keeping it that way. So yes, so thank you very much for these requests, but we're going to dedicate them all to the wonderful Mrs. Gartshore and the wonderful Vanessa, without whom my life would be miserable. She's probably not listening. Are you listening? She's not listening. Okay, so I'll play this back to her later on. She's probably in the bedroom with the door closed, holding baby's ears so that she doesn't hear my screams and noises from upstairs. That's the plan anyway. So, all of these pieces of music, they're all sort of lovely ballady things from the 30s and 40s, absolutely wonderful. And here's the first one. It's from Irving Berlin, wonderful composer, and it's called I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. I've got my love to keep me warm. What a wonderful piece of music. On the second part of that page, it's called I've Got the World on a String, which is from Harold Arlen, a wonderful composer. Now, the Gershwins. One must not ever forget the Gershwins in the world of modern music. George and Ira Gershwin. George wrote the music, his brother Ira wrote the words. And between them, they came up with hundreds, if not thousands, of magnificent songs that have made it through the years, have remained standards through the years. They've been covered by everybody. And this one is no exception. This is a beautiful piece of music. And we can actually turn it into a kind of almost blues little number. It's very nice. One of my favorite versions of this one is the Ella Fitzgerald recording. Ella Fitzgerald recorded pretty much everything beautifully, and I think this was one of her best as well. It's called I've Got a Crush on You, comma, Sweetie Pie. It starts with the wonderful words of all the many millions of there are all sorts of names in there, of all the many millions of Timothys and Williams That's if a girl sings it. If a boy sings it, of all the many millions of something's jillions, I think, isn't it? I can't remember. Who remembers the actual words? Let's find it out. I see our friend Hans Poli is telling us to support the channel financially, if at all possible, any amount. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, Hans Poli. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're always very grateful to your support and anything you can spare. What's it? Brother, can you spare a dime? Let's play that later. Brother, can you spare a dime? Yes, we're very grateful to you for all your spendies, as it were. That's what it's called in German, Spenden. For all your roundy money spendy things. Remember that? Anton B, wasn't it? Anton B Goes Shopping, I think it was called. Children's book. Wonderful book. Anyway, my mind is bizarre tonight. Very bizarre indeed. So yes, if you're enjoying what you're hearing, consider a virtual ticket or a tip or a thank you. And there's even a link. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Of all the many millions of Gartshore gang and its millions. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Gosh, that's not going to happen. I've got a crush on you, sweetie pie. Definitely one for Mrs. G. What's this one? Oh, again a Gershwin. Again a Gershwin. And Jerome Kern together with Gershwin in 1944. Long ago and far away. Yes, long ago and far away. Let's dedicate this one. Well, not dedicate it this one. Let's play this one in memory of my miserable years. Believe me, I had plenty of them. But thankfully, they are now long ago and far away. Thanks to the wonderful Mrs. G downstairs. I'm so lucky. Long ago and far away. long ago and far away. Ursa Major, thank you very much indeed. Ursa Major is busy gifting people memberships. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. If you are a member on YouTube, it means you have access to our little emojis programmed and designed by Ursa Major. Haha. So yes, there you are. Join in the fun. Join in the fun in the chat. Over the years, many have tried. No one has been successful. And I'm very glad, because it means we are now the most happily married couple in the universe, and we are even happier because we now have a little baby bundle of joy, which makes it even more exciting. It's absolutely magnificent. I never thought, you see, this is my first child. I have never had, I'm now 50 and this is my first child. And much to everyone's amusement, no, I didn't have any children in past encounters or anything like that. I've always been a very good boy. And none of that could ever possibly have happened, and it didn't. But it did now, thankfully, and I am really the happiest person in the world. Are you listening? I'm the happiest man in the world. Because of you. And our bundle of joy, of course. And our big black circus bear dog as well. I say circus bear because that's how he smells at the moment. He desperately needs to be bathed. So I think we're going to give the dog a bath at the weekend. Anyway, and all of this is just wonderful. I never thought I would have had this years ago, and I do now. And I really am the happiest and most grateful man in the world. And in the words of the Gershwins, I hope, in brackets, they can't take that away from me. They can't take that away from me. And they won't try, and they shouldn't. Oh, we're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost 10 to 12 at night. Ray Noble. I don't think we've had any of Ray Noble's songs before, have we? I don't think so. Noble. Thomas Tertius Noble. Remember him? If you're into your Anglican music, there was a wonderful Magnificat and Nunc Dimittis. can't remember how the rest went. Noble in B minor. I just love that beginning. If a piece of music is in B minor, why do you start with G in the pedals? We need that. Wonderful, turbulent music. That's a different Noble, though. Thomas Tertius Noble. Imagine being called Thomas Tertius Noble. Obviously the third child of the Noble family. I wonder, did they actually call their other children Primus and Secundus? Willing to bet they did. What a family that must have been. Thomas Tertius Noble, come down at once. Anyway, this is not Thomas Tertius Noble. This is a guy called Ray Noble. At least I think it's Ray Noble. And I'm going to play this one as a lovely sort of cha-cha-cha. And remember, in the Gartshore gang, we have a deal. Every time I play cha-cha-cha, you have to snap your fingers and say cha-cha-cha while you do it. You have to preempt it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, cha-cha-cha. Okay, and you have to snap your fingers at the right time too. So here we are. Let's play cha-cha-cha. The very thought of you. I won't tell you what that does to my primitive brain, but the very thought of you. cha-cha-cha. Hope you did it and got it in there. A wonderful thing. Our final request for this evening. Beautiful piece of music. Allegedly a Scottish piece of music. It is kind of a Scottish piece of music. It wasn't actually composed in Scotland though. It was composed in America by a Scottish person. And it's a very famous piece of music, and it's basically an apology, but it's rather beautiful. And it goes something like this. What key shall we play it in? Let's play it in the key of D major. We haven't had any. Have we had D major tonight? Don't know. Let's do it in D major. Sing along if you know the words. If you don't, hum along. And if you can't do that, think along. in the key of D flat. Oh, you can go crazy in the key of D flat. I love it so much. You can add so many naughty harmonies. It's definitely good fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to close this evening's concert. So first of all, thank you very much for being with us this evening and being part of the Gartshore gang once again and continuing to be part of the Gartshore gang. We do love you all. Thank you very much indeed for being here and keeping us company on a Friday night. Friday night is organ music night, as we all know nowadays. So we're getting there. We're getting close to 50,000, so keep spreading the word. Our good friend over in the United States, Magic Mike the Mechanic, who's going solo and doing his own thing now. The other day, Magic Mike put out a video where he thanked his former employer, the car wizard, his good friend Tyler Hoover, and me for his musical help, or for my musical help. So yes, that's the first time I've been mentioned in a video with, you know, really famous YouTubers like that together. So thank you, Mike, for giving us the shout out. And if anyone is here as a result of Magic Mike's shout out, then do say hi in the chat and welcome to be part of the Gartshore gang, where we get together Fridays and Sunday nights and do fun things with music. My program this evening was supposed to be a program of French goodies, French fancies, I think I called it. And I think I played 3 or 4 French pieces tonight. The rest of it was spontaneous stuff. So there you are. That's the way the Gartshore gang works. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hear frying noises downstairs. So we're going to go and get fed in a moment or two. But final anecdote, final piece of music for this evening. The other night, the world lost one of its musical treasures, Tina Turner. Died at the age of 83, I think. She'd been ill for a very, very long time, unfortunately. She'd had a variety of cancers and she was just done, basically, the poor thing. And she finally succumbed the other night. So poor Tina Turner, rest in peace. I had the pleasure of meeting Tina Turner once. And it was a very spontaneous and very unplanned and very anonymous meeting. I was in a supermarket in Zurich, in the middle of town, the middle of the city centre. It was downstairs. There was sort of a mini supermarket, and I was in there and I was buying some stuff because I was hungry. I was buying like a sandwich and a bottle of Coke or something like that. And I was standing at the checkout, and in front of me was an older lady, let's put it like that. And there was something about the way she was standing that made me think, hold on a minute, that's not your average lady out shopping in Zurich. And I had a sort of closer look, and I looked her up and down, and it was the shoes and the fingernails that gave her away. She was out without any wigs on. She had no makeup on. She was wearing very sort of normal, she was wearing like a tracksuit kind of thing. But the shoes, incredibly expensive looking shoes, and the jewelry and the fingernails gave it away. And as she put her bits and pieces on the shopping, what do you call it, the conveyor belt, the shopping belt, she put her things there, and I was standing right behind her, and I was sort of giving the coy look, the sort of the I know who you are look, and she looked back at me and just sort of smiled, and I smiled and sort of just nodded, and she winked and did that. And that's it. That was my Tina Turner experience. It was quite amazing, absolutely wonderful. We didn't, no, that's not true. We said hello afterwards. After she packed her stuff, and I only had 2 things. So by the time she'd finished packing her stuff, I'd already paid. And we just sort of said hello to each other on the way out. And she then said, thank you. And that's all she said, and then just walked away. And I think what she meant was thank you for not making a scene, that kind of thing. And off she went. That was it. Wonderful. The only time I ever saw Tina Turner, and she wasn't in her full Bird of Paradise regalia. So there you are. Wonderful. So rest in peace, Tina Turner. You were, of course, the best. Haha, simply the best. I think we have to finish with that tonight, don't we? So, cue the copyright claims. Let's have some fun for Tina Turner, the best. Written by Mike Chapman and Holly Knight. Whoever they were, he said jokingly. A wonderful piece of music. Thanks very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. See you all on Sunday. simply the best. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for watching. See you all on Sunday. It's time then for the old bye-bye blues.